What's up, YouTube? Tim Moose here. With the show Wednesday returning this week, this Wednesday, I've of course decided to go ahead and do my pretty much my list of my top 10 favorite Jenna Ortega film and TV projects. The Jenna Ortega, who's like in her early 20s, I think she's like 22 or 23 now. She has a really interesting film credits, like from Disney Channel to like horror status, to Wednesday. I mean, I think she is one of the best actresses in the business today, and she's great on Wednesday. She's great in many other stuff. Obviously, she don't really have much of a as much of a film career, so I decided just to narrow it down and just do a top 10, and just include like best movies and TV shows together. So here is my official top 10 list. All right. Number 10 is a recent one, and I enjoyed it a little more than most people did, and that is Death of a Unicorn. It stars Paul Rudd and his daughter, and of course Jenna Ortega plays his daughter, who accidentally hit a unicorn en route to his billionaire boss's estate. It is a very fun horror comedy here, mixed with Jurassic Park vibes. Jenna Ortega really plays her part very well. She's a moral voice of races here. Her chemistry with Paul Rudd is really good. Like the father and daughter dynamic chemistry is pretty decent. I had a fun time with it. It's a shame it didn't really do too well with critics or even audiences. It's a little weird, I would admit, but it's a really decent one worth giving a go. Alright. Number 9 is the film The Fallout. Now, this came out on HBO Max back in 2021, or was it 2022? One or two. It stars, Jenna Ortega, Maddie Ziegler, and she, of course, survives a school shooting, and she struggles with trauma, forming an unlikely bond with this girl named Mia, played by Maddie Ziegler, and she is really terrific in this. It is, of course, directed by Megan Park, who just directed last year's My Old Ass film. This was actually her directorial debut. Really good job there. Julie Bowen was also in this. It is pretty sad at times. It is really, intense to watch here. But Jenna Ortega, it really showcased how great she is and stuff. And it's a really decent HBO Max film worth giving a go. Alright. Coming in at number 8 is the show You. Now, of course, she plays the character of Ellie, who's this wisecracking teen and neighbor Joe, unaware of his dangerous natures here, and she of course is very loyal to her sister Delia, and so she's very resourceful and bold attitudes here. Now, of course, she was in the the second season of You. This was actually I guess you could say the show that really put Jenna Ortega on the map for most people. She was really great. Of course, her really creepy scene with Chris D'Elia is really weird to watch there. But yeah, You is a really decent. You I really quite enjoy. A really decent, interesting series. Jenna Ortega again plays her part very well. Here it is a shame she doesn't return for the next last few seasons, but she is still pretty decent. All right, number 7, probably one of her earliest roles, and that is the show Stuck in the Middle. I always thought Stuck in the Middle was very in the vein of a show like Malcolm in the Middle. It stars Jenna Ortega, a very young Jenna Ortega, as Holly, who's a resourceful, clever teen who uses energy skills to solve family problems. The comedy, of course, follows Holly Diaz, who's a middle child in the family of 7, navigating siblings' chaos and with her inventive gadgets here. Again, this was actually one of her earliest roles before she became as popular as she is now. And this was actually one of the last few Disney Channel shows that I really quite enjoyed at the time. I don't really watch Disney Channel shows anymore nowadays. But in the 2010s, there was some really cool Disney Channel shows that I did quite enjoy, like Liv and Maddie and stuff. And Stuck in the Middle was definitely up there. The one who plays the siblings are pretty good. It's a really it definitely had that Malcolm in the Middle vibe here. Definitely had the remember the show The Middle? Definitely had that vibe as well. It was a really decent series, worth giving a go. A really good theme song too, by the way. Alright, number 6 is Yesterday. Another project that was like one of her earliest roles, like before she became as popular as she is. This film, of course, stars Jennifer Garner, Edgar Ramirez. The singer Her was also in this. It is, of course, where like this couple gives their kids 24 hour yes day to get their wildest wishes. Jenna Ortega, of course, plays like the rebellious daughter here, and she is really decent. She definitely has some fun parts in it. Jennifer Garner was pretty good in this. Edgar Ramirez was really good. Really decent little. It definitely was like, let's say, remember that movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey? Definitely felt like Yes Man for teens, really. But it's a really decent one worth giving a go. Number five is X. I guess say X was really the movie that really showcased more of Jenna Ortega's adult talents, really. Now, of course, like she plays a character named Lorraine, whose nickname is Church Mouse, who is very shy, conflicted assistant to the film crew, and her performance is really decent. Of course, I guess say this was one of her like earliest horror roles she did, and she was pretty solid here. X, of course, was directed by Ty West, who obviously the star of a trilogy, which had included stuff like Pearl, Maxine. X is still really decent. Definitely felt like Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Boogie Nights in a weird way. And yeah, Jenna Ortega, there was some risque stuff that Jenna Ortega did in this that it felt a little weird watching it, especially for someone who, first remember her from Stuck in the Middle. I'm like, that was really weird to watch. But that aside, Jenna Ortega still played her part very well. Of course, like she had a really good chemistry with the likes of Mia Goth. Her death scene, by the way, interesting. Not gonna lie, I literally thought she was gonna be one of the main stars who actually lives throughout. But obviously, the one who ends up living, spoiler, is Mia Goth's Maxine. But still, all right. Coming in at number four, probably the horror movie that really put her on the map as a scream queen, really, and that is The Babysitter Killer Queen. This was a follow up to the 2017 film The Babysitter, where, of course, 2 years after surviving a satanic cult, this high schooler named Cole faces like new dangers when the cult resurfaces. Jenna Ortega plays like this rebellious new student of Cole's high school, serving as his love interest as well. I really quite liked her, little scene when she's of course introduced and she's mentioning her, love of Rob Reiner and stuff, and she has that, scream towards the beginning. I'm like, I feel sorry for anyone who ever watched this movie and had headphones on when she had that scene and did not know that scene was coming. But anyway, it is a really decent film. I'm still waiting for part three. Who knows if that's gonna happen? Samara Weaving, by the way. Oh yeah, who doesn't love Samara Weaving, right? Jenna Ortega, of course, is great. You had Bella Thorne, Robbie Amell. I really quite enjoyed Babysitter Killer Queen. Like, it's not as good as the first film, I would admit, but I still had a fun time with it. Again, I really need a third one, but who knows if that's ever going to happen. Alright, coming in at number three is her recent one, Beetlejuice. The long-awaited follow-up to, 1988's Beetlejuice. Or was it 89? One of the two. But of course, here you have Jenna Ortega, who plays Astrid Dietz, who's, Lydia's rebellious teen daughter, skeptical of her mother's supernatural claims. And Jenna Ortega, really has the goth stuff perfectly down. She was perfect at playing the daughter of Winona Ryder. Of course, Michael Keaton was great. Obviously, she has a good relationship with Tim Burton, because another film I'm going to be another project I'm going to be talking about here in a bit. But still, she did a really good job here. And of course, Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara was great. I'm still holding out hope we get a third one, but who knows? Alright. Coming in at number two is Wednesday. Of course, she plays Wednesday Addams, who's a sadistic teen with psychic abilities, and it attends Nevermore Academy, where she uncovers dark secrets here. She does really play the her casting as Wednesday was perfect. I mean, I remember when they first cast her, I'm like, this is actually a perfect casting, and she really embodies the Wednesday role. Of course, her chemistry with Enid is really good. Can't wait for season 2 when that drops tomorrow. So, Yeah, I mean, she's really perfect here. Not gonna lie, I think she's actually better than Christina Ricci's Wednesday. I know that might be unpopular to say, and I love that Addams Family movie from the 90s. If I have to say who does Wednesday better, it is probably Jenna Ortega, but that's just me. And my number one favorite project of hers is none other than, I'm actually going to put them both together, Scream 5 and 6. I mean, of course, like, she does play the sister, Tara Carpenter, the sister of Sam Carpenter. And of course, she is like Sam's youngest sister and a high school student who becomes Ghostface's target. She, of course, pretty much makes Scream history as the first person from an opening of the Scream who doesn't get killed towards the end. And she is really great as Tara. Her sister dynamic chemistry with Melissa Barrera is great. I really love their sister bonding here. Of course, obviously, we're going to go back for Scream 6. Unfortunately, she's not returning for the next Scream movie. Will we ever see the Carpenters back again? Who knows? But still, she is really good in these films. And of course, it was really cool to see her host SNL, following the footsteps of like Neve Campbell when she hosted. And of course, obviously, Jenna Ortega had great chemistry with the other cast. Like her, little love interest with Mason Gooding. I did not really see that coming. Really, I always thought they were like more brother like sister type level, but that was actually more shocking there. But that aside, it was still a pretty good one and well worth a watch. Still excited for Scream 7, by the way, but just still a little disappointed we're not really going to get Jenna Ortega back in this franchise, but who knows, maybe she will one of these days, we'll see. Anyway, that is pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. 10, Death of a Unicorn. 9, The Fallout. 8, You. 7, Stuck in the Middle. 6, Yesterday. 5, X. 4, Babysitter Killer Queen. 3, Beetlejuice. 2, Wednesday. And number 1 is Scream. Now, of course, she's done other stuff. Like, she was also on the show Jane the Virgin. I wonder how many people forget that she was in Iron Man 3. That's right, I always keep forgetting she was in Iron Man 3. Of course, she was in Insidious one of the Insidious movies. She was in that little film Studio 666. Obviously, her hosting gig on SNL is pretty good. She has some other cool stuff coming too, like she's in new films from Taika Waititi, from J.J. Abrams. So she has a really great list down the line as well. But let me ask you guys, what are your favorite Jenna Ortega film or TV projects? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This is Timmy signing.